Hello! Quick announcement. The auction is about to end. If y'all don't know about the auction, all the proceeds are going to Little Kids Rock. If you want to help little kids end up rocking, that's like what we did.
One of the items we are auctioning off is this very hat that is upon my head. It'll be back there after we're done playing. Got the whole gang.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Rob.
It's my turn to talk now. Chuck's done. Now we don't really know what this is gonna be. We're gonna play some songs. We're gonna smoke crack. Tell some stories and stuff, and I don't know. We don't really have anything planned, so yeah.
We do have a few things planned.
We have a few things planned, but no stories are planned, I don't think.
No.
I think during these songs, if there's any point that you want us to stop and ask us a question, that's fine. It's the storyteller's set.
I personally would rather you didn't do that.
I'm gonna put a vote in yes for that. I have a quick question about that first chord.
What's your question?
C?
It's C minor.
Got it.
7.
Is there a ninth as well?
You can do a 9. You can do 11.
This is like Wolfpack, where they just talk about music theory on
You can
stage.
do a 13.
Oh, they do that?
No 13s. No 13s.
You can even do a minor major 7
We get it. You're amazing.
with the 9 on top.
What is this blue shit all over my hand? I don't even know how they got there.
Make sure your pick.
I think it's telling me I need to play a bluesy solo with my thumb.
right. All right, Chuck, kick it into Root Down, baby.
Do you want to play Root
No,
Down?
I don't.
Where's Ari loves that song. That was the song that they were playing before we got on stage. We've been joking about playing Root Down for like a week. You won't do it?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it for Ari and for Chuck. Root Down.
Root down.
In my head, there's like a little like a barometer of like, you have played that song 600 times this year. You know, like it just went up one more number. Like how many people have been served at McDonald's? Do you know what I mean? Like
Billions and billions of Root Downs.
Yeah.
I guess
Over 2 billion root downs played.
the significance of that song is over the last year and 4 months, I think all of us have each collectively played that hundreds of times in various situations with Eli's Funkin' Bowl and Neal and I in Denver and Rob all around.
Doing whatever it is I do. Yeah.
Finally got to do it together, guys.
Finally,
Oh, that was nice.
You want to do that present ghost thing now? All right, this is one of the things that we prepared for this.
Also, the song you're about to hear, I have to think up stories because we said it was going to be a storyteller set. But somewhere, I think on Luke's computer, there's... That's my niece over there, by the way, and my sister. Hi, May. Hi, May. But somewhere of this, for the song you're about to hear, somewhere, I think on Luke's computer, is a completely different chorus that was written that we never ended up using.
do you remember
then
how it went?
What?
Do you remember what it
I have
sounded
no idea, but I remember we heard it at Luke's apartment once, and I was kind of like, oh, I wish this had been the chorus of the song. But, you know, that might have just been my mood. I was probably delirious. I was probably on like 2 hours of sleep from sitting in a van all day. So.
I can tell a story
Next
about
time,
this.
we'll bring it
Oh,
back.
yeah, do it.
So I actually wrote the lyrics to this song, Present Ghosts, and
True.
it is... so I had this idea about a guy that was living for all time and just like couldn't die and has been around for hundreds of years. And then some, sort of like our planets collide situation, these other planets were going to crash into ours. But what ended up happening is that he still didn't die. So he just like got launched into space, and that's kind of like, I don't know if that's represented in the song, but he's just still alive, floating around in space.
I had to read this like short story in middle school about kind of that same, like a guy who like was like invincible, like he couldn't die, and then he got buried alive, and then they built this giant building over him, so he was just stuck alive, buried under this skyscraper. For the
This
rest
is
of his
kind
life.
of
And I was in
similar.
7th grade.
Good
I'm still
morning.
messed up over it. Anyways, let's play this song now.
I have another story about a guy being buried alive. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I do, but I'll tell you later.
Living for all time. I know I'm bound for shore. Steel, light, and fire. 3 present ghosts of hope. Red sun goes possibly on a track. It seems set. It seems set. Ask the eyes of your neighbor, gearing up as it comes. 1 other saying 10 of mine. Out is ready for my passing time. Just a fly on a window. Just wanna leave, but I can't go. first antenna mine. I was ready for my passing time. Hills with clouds block my metal of the falling lines in the sky. Now I'm ready. I need a light. Now I'm ready. Just a fly on a window. Down to leave, but I can't go. Just like a moth flying towards the light. Never learned, but I still try.
I still try.
Eli Winderman on the keyboards over there, everybody. Chuck Jones, wordsmith on that one.
I think another story about that song is we just added a new chord to the very end of it.
It's like a yes ending.
I like that new chord.
Eli, can you show them what the old ending sounds like?
This is what it used to sound like. Which is fine. This is a new ending. Do you feel the power? The power of the sus chord.
That, my friends, is a sus chord, which is suspended, meaning you suspend the third of the chord and replace it with either the second or the fourth, thereby making it ambiguous.
Take that, Bolt Peck.
I have a good story about Rob. Rob is an incredible teacher, one of the best I know, but also, kind of ironically, not very good at learning things or being willing to learn.
Yeah, totally.
I was thinking about that the other day. He was like, because he was giving someone a guitar lesson, and then right afterwards we were trying to help him learn how to wrap cables.
Yeah. I gave up.
We did it, and he's just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I took the cable half round and just went like that. And then I think I went to Dunkin' Donuts
That's
or
also
something.
for Katie. That's why the cable, like half the cables looked awful.
That was my fault, Dopapod crew. Sorry about the cables.
That new ending's great, though. Really great ending.
Yeah, let's do it one more time.
One more time for good measure.
You could also do the flat six over the one. It sounds like this.
Sick, yeah.
Now flat seven.
If we did that, that's pretty much the ending to Nuggie Jocelyn.
And also the national anthem when when Whitney Houston does it,
Oh, yeah.
which is great.
Oh, we also.
Jets flying by
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
amazing. Fireworks.
Sick windbreaker.
Yeah.
What about the patio enclosures with the flat six?
What?
The patio enclosures with the flat six.
Patio enclosure.
Patio enclosures.
How does that go again?
Patio in.
There you go.
Yeah, you got
I've got a good story.
Yes.
I've got a good story, and I would like to create a jam based on this story.
Yeah, man, what's
if
up?
we're up to it. So, we were on tour. I don't remember where we were driving, but we were in West Virginia in this tiny little town where there was only one road in and out of the town, and we had to get through the road to get through the town. But there was a parade. And they were like, you can't leave. And we were like, what do you mean? And they're like, there's a parade and this is the only road, so you're stuck here. There's also no phone service. Have fun. And
This is a true story.
yeah. But it was kind of fun because they were just throwing Tootsie Rolls at us and stuff, and we were like, all right, parade, cool. But so we walked around this town for like an hour and a half, just waiting until we could go again. And there was this like old beat up, it wasn't a nice car at all. I don't know why it was featured in this parade. It was a terrible car. It was like an old Gremlin or something with like somebody spray painted it or something. But the horn, it was a horn that makes this. But the horn was broken. So, and if you listen back on some Dopapod shows, you might hear us do this because we often quote it, but it ended up coming out like this. And
It was,
to
like,
this
so
day,
janky.
I've been wanting so badly to write a song with that.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's jam on that for a minute. Do that forever.
Like, all right, guys, you stop playing fucking Hold On Scout for a second. Jesus.
Geez, what next, guys? You want to play a song?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to tell one story about a song we played last night called Onionhead. It's not really that exciting, but we were staying with a friend of mine in Asheville in like 2011, and her boyfriend was kind of a turd. And this is, so Michelangelo Karuba, who is the current drummer for Turkaz, used to be the drummer for Dopapod, one of three. Collect them all. And, but Mikey was just like, man, that guy, just like a stupid onion head. So we're
That
just
was kind of shaped like an onion, to be fair. It wasn't
yeah.
off the
So it was
mark.
like at
It
the
had
time. So
layers.
that's named after a friend of mine's douchey boyfriend she's now married to, which is unfortunate.
The funny coincidence, too, was that later on we discovered there was a Cake song with a line about an onion head hat that sounds just like our song, Onionhead. It's like the same tempo and key and everything.
Weird. No, he doesn't know.
He might after this.
He knows now.
We're
very
letting it
sad
all
about
hang
it.
out here.
This one's called...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got a story.
I got a
for
story for this one. So when we started playing this song, we played it in Worcester, Massachusetts, and this guy came up after. Yeah. So this
Tammany Hall.
might slightly
Rest in
offend
peace.
you guys a little bit. The guy came up, he's like, "Yo, you were crazy on those keyboards, dude. Turnin Knobs." That's a new problem.
Eli's organ broke like 2 days before the cap show yesterday, and this organ repair guy came by to fix it, and he did a great job. Like, you know, it was like super last minute, but he was working on some other organ they had there, and I just thought this was so funny. He was like, "Hey," I can't remember his name, but he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like Pete LLC, and I was like, you know, but I was like, Rob
Introduce himself
LLC.
and then his LLC name.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Filing
But
taxes right now, or what is this?
But I loved how he. I was like, "That organ sounds great," and he's like, "Yeah, it's not bad."
It's pretty good. And he did an okay job. I mean, this is a new problem.
What is it doing? Is it just that one drawbar that's going?
I have no idea why this is happening. It's almost like echoes.
At least it's a.
What if we tried to play echoes on no rehearsal right now? That'd be
Yeah,
so
yeah. We were
fun.
talking about.
No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Nobody wants that.
I don't even know the words. You know.
Something about like an albatross. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's bring him up.
Let's bring him up.
Let's bring him up.
hey, why don't we have Ari from Jam On? He's gonna come up. We're gonna have some audience questions and hang out with you guys a little more.
Q&A session.
Ari, are you available at the moment? Or you want us to play another
Ari.
song? Yeah.
Make some noise for Ari Fink, everybody.
Ari! Yeah, that's great. He shouldn't have said echoes. We're not playing echoes.
And the first question is, will you play echoes?
Trapper Keeper again. Ari!
The song is called Ari by Pink Floyd.
Hey, dude. Everyone give a warm round of applause and welcome for Mr. Ari.
Thank you. That's very sweet of these fine gentlemen, but I think the people that we should be celebrating are these four being here, right? Let them hear you for a second, right? Right? It's definitely not lost on anyone in the room how special it is that everybody here on stage, aside from me, is up here together. It's pretty fucking dope, so.
Thanks, man.
You can see the smiles in the room, right? Let them hear you one more time. Give it up for these guys, right? Yeah! Dopapod is back. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing.
And Luke, yeah,
And
Luke couldn't be here.
Luke's not here today. He couldn't be here, but
He's
We
just a
should give it
Smashing
up for Luke
Pumpkins.
one time, right? That dude kills it. Last night was insane.
thank you.
It was insane. It looked great. It sounded great. So much fun. You guys are so dialed. It sounded fresh. We should probably start at the beginning, though. Right?
let's do it.
Let's get into the band name real quick. Who came up with it? How did it happen? Are palindromes following you guys, or are you guys following the palindromes?
Eli.
It's an Eli question.
I thought of it one day, and I was like, that's a pretty good name.
Boom.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I actually didn't realize that it was a palindrome until like the next day. And I was like, oh my God.
I'm going to keep this band name.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually going to use it again.
Because I don't know if you've ever tried, but it's like the hardest thing in the world to try to think of a band name. Because if you have like a really good name, it's already taken.
Yeah.
And it's like really hard. I've tried.
So difficult.
Very
And-
difficult.
And everyone fails at it because it's really hard to come up with something cool that sounds
Except
cool.
for Metallica. They did a good job
Also,
with that.
yeah, that's true. There's a few
Ari,
exceptions.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, hit me.
What is your favorite band name? This is not a trick question at all.
Oh man,
I got mine.
my favorite band name. It's such a hard question to answer, and it changes, like, probably every 5 minutes. I mean, I like saying, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. That's
That's a
Great
good one.
band name.
it rhymes and it's weird and it's cool. What about you?
Megadeth.
Also great. Also, I see
They
a theme
can't beat
here.
that one, I think.
It is. It's very much on the nose, right?
And they spelled death wrong, which is pretty awesome. highly
Destroyer
appreciate
is
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
There are a few. There's definitely a few. And I want to thank all you guys who submitted questions because there are some great questions for these gentlemen up here.
Shoot.
Let's see here. Well, Justin wanted to know who came up with the name Dopapod, and he also wanted to know if there was an intent to have the palindrome be a part of it. And we already touched on that.
There was not.
And how do we feel about the palindromes at this point? We're cool?
I don't like them. I'm gonna be completely honest. I am an asymmetrical kind of guy, and I'm shooting always to make it not a palindrome, but I always lose. Completely
He
honest.
doesn't have a choice in the matter.
I don't. We are very diplomatic, so you know.
You get asymmetry in other ways.
I
feel
do. I
like.
get it in other places. Yes.
Like, you know, like playing weird stuff on your bass and making weird loops.
Yes. I get it.
Yeah. Sick.
So David Birdsey wants to know what everyone's favorite comic book character is, which I also want to know. We'll start with you, Eli.
Probably Venom.
Okay, good
It just
one.
looks so cool with
He
the
does.
teeth and the,
Yeah.
all the venom.
I don't know if this. I mean, they made comic books. The comic books might have even come first. I'm not sure, but Raphael of Ninja Turtles.
Yes! Ninja
Because
Turtles.
I'm grouchy and kind of angsty, and so is he. I relate to him. I got a couple pairs of size at home, you know.
Have you seen those original
Deep
comics? Everybody dies.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Super dark. Except for Raphael. Yeah.
What about you, Fro?
I'm all set.
I like Batman. No superpowers,
Yeah.
gadgets. If you know
Definitely.
me, I got cargo pants. I carry my stuff around. Gadget guy.
Straight
I
ahead.
need tools to accomplish great things.
Yup, right? And you?
I don't know if this counts, but I really like Winnie the Pooh. He's pretty mellow. He's like just all about honey. Like not a
I
lot
love
of
that
priorities.
answer. That answer is
really
great.
soothing voice.
Yep. Hey, so I see a couple of people here who want to ask questions, which is great. But if you want to ask a question, make your way to the front because we're gonna be.
Just hop on stage. Come on up.
Yeah, come on,
I'm just
come
kidding.
on,
Don't
right
do
up
that.
here. We're gonna hand the
Plenty of
mic
room.
off. We're gonna be taking questions from everyone here. So Steve Zuckerberg wants to know when you're gonna be announcing your next live show, Chuck. Everyone here wants to know.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Guys.
John Bon. Let's get over to John Bongiorno. He's going to answer this question for you all
Watch
right
them.
now.
They're all sweating over here.
Oh, look at him.
Look at him, John. What do we say here, John?
Come on, tell them. Let them know.
We got another guy you can ask. This is Kun Shah over here. Give it up for Kun. She can answer that.
That's right.
That was it. No more shows. That was it. Last one.
Come on. Come
This
on.
is the last one, actually.
On Wednesday, we're going to tell you that was our last show.
We have an exciting announcement to make.
That's why it's so important that we're all here right now.
Nobody leak that shit.
This is a
Shut up.
one-time only deal. We've got a question over here from the man in the purple Prince hat. Introduce yourself, please, and go for it.
Oh, it's Brian.
We know
What
this
up,
guy
y'all?
is.
I'm Brian. My question is for Eli. It just came to me. That's something I thought for. What's the story with the Prodigy, bro? Were you born with it? Or
It's a great story.
You just
that-
like saw someone with
It's
one?
not exactly completely PG, and my parents are here, so. All right, me and my friend Rob Verrill, we go way back to third grade. We took the train into New York City. I think we were in.
Third grade? That's crazy.
We,
No,
well,
I'm kidding. I get it.
You know what I'm saying. And we were going to see Medeski Martin and Wood at the Hammerstein Ballroom. And yeah, I feel weird saying that my parents are here, but
Just do it.
we ate some mushrooms.
They'll understand.
We ate some Skittles.
What was that? What did?
The
what did you
rainbow
take?
of Skittles.
My mom would be very mad because it was dangerous. I'm not gonna lie. It was not safe.
Sorry, Mom.
We were young. We didn't know what we were doing. But we were walking around New York City all day, and we went to a music store, and there was this amazing music store with like a million keyboards everywhere, and I was just like drooling, looking at everything. And then the guy that worked there is like, "Oh yeah, the Moog Prodigy is the most extreme, incredible synthesizer you've ever." And he started playing like these kind of like German house bass lines on it. And I was just like, "Oh my God, he's right. I have to have that." And so here's another part of the story that my parents, whatever, you guys are gonna hear. So I sold weed for like a little bit to save up for it.
Just to get through college. Or high school.
We all did it, man. We all did it. Raise your hand if you sold weed before.
Can we just give it up for 1 second to my parents, Eden and Wayne? Because without them, this band would not exist. Because they let us live at their house for a very long time. And it was home base for a very long time. Luke lived in the basement for a long time. Like way after we all left. He was
We would
still
like
there.
walk down there for a tour, and I'd be like, "Hey, Luke," and he'd be like, "Hey." Programming lights and stuff in the dark.
So anyways, that's how I found out about the Moog Prodigy.
That was a great story.
That was a really good one. Yeah.
And I have been playing it ever since. But this is not the first one I got. I have 2 of them now. Not the good end of the story. I should have stopped.
You should have
before.
ended it.
Yeah.
And one goes with you and one stays at home?
I have them both because these things break all the time. Like
Gotcha.
when we played at Bonnaroo and it went out of tune the whole time. It was great.
I have a funny
So-
story about that Bonnaroo set, too.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, oh, man.
Are your
So-
parents here? Is it?
So, my parents are not here. Well, it was the first year that SiriusXM was broadcasting Bonnaroo in full. And so we roll up, and it's not just me, it's all these other channels, all these other people from every single corner of the musical universe. And it was Thursday, and we did the walkthrough, and we were done, and everyone was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go to sleep." And I'm like, "Dude, fucking Dopapod's like playing in what are you talking about in 2 hours?" So I convinced one of our executives, like, you know, I had no business being like, "Yeah, come to this set, it's gonna be awesome. You should come, it's gonna be great, it's right over there." Meanwhile, like, it's a 2-mile walk. He's wearing a 3-piece suit. He's styling and profiling, and I'm just, you know, going to see a band that I love, and I bring him out, and we get there. He's wearing a 3-piece suit, as I mentioned. And within 2 minutes, like, the prettiest girl in butterfly wings walks up to him and is like, "I love your outfit." And he looked at me and he was like, "This band is awesome."
You're welcome.
Thank you. You guys killed it, in tune or out of tune. I was gonna ask what your favorite chord to hang out on is, but you guys talked about a lot of different chords. Rob, let's start with you, being the chordal expert.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, my.
My favorite chord?
I mean, you can pick a note. You play bass, but if you want to, you know,
Pretty
go
down
chord-
with like E.
Okay.
Fine.
E's a good one.
It's a good one. Great bass note.
Yep. Eli, what about you?
This chord we play all the time. It's called the minor 6 chord, which is kind of like it's like used in like Alice in Wonderland, like when she falls down the rabbit hole.
I always relate it to Danny Elfman. It sounds like Danny Elfman to me because I'm super obsessed with his movie score music. You know?
Which is just like a minor chord
Yeah.
with the 6 on top.
With the 6 on top, and all of a sudden you're in the rabbit hole,
Down the rabbit hole.
and then the teacups are talking to you.
But then you can throw the major 7 on top of that.
Go on. Ooh, tricky.
I love that chord.
Ooh. Melodic
Melodic
minor.
minor.
That's
Look
right.
at you.
Anybody else with questions? Come on over to this side, please,
Wait,
please.
what about Neal?
Oh,
Neal
my
plays.
dude over
What's
here's
Neal's
got one.
favorite chord?
I love Lydian.
Neal's favorite chord.
It's not a chord, but Lydian.
lamp.
Lydian is tight.
My
It's
mode,
got a
because
Y in it.
it's not major, it's not minor, it's very ambiguous.
Same mode
It's really
as that
good
chord.
for drum solos.
Cool.
Here we go.
And that comes from the same mode as the chord I just said, too.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
sound.
Hello.
Hi, fellas.
Hey, bud.
My name is John Juan. I'm, whatever. I mean, you guys are very, you guys are insanely talented, but there has to have been a time when you guys got tripped up on one of your songs. Like, was there ever a song you guys were trying to write, like Bobby or something like that, where it was really
Super Bowl
hard?
took us like a year and a half to write. Right?
Your songs are hard.
Some of them.
I mean, let's just be real for a second.
They're
I mean,
definitely hard.
It's not no 3-chord in and out, sort of, 2 chords in the bridge.
Have you
and
heard
we're done.
Indian Grits?
That one's not too hard.
There are some hard chords in it, though, really.
That's true.
No. I do remember that a song, we played it last night called Super Bowl, which is relatively new. That took us like a year and a half of tinkering around with, I think. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the ending of that.
It's not so much the execution, it's the where do we get all these pieces to fit the right way, so that it's a song and not just like a And we don't always succeed either. Sometimes we're like, it's good enough, you know?
The ending of that song, gong, 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 that whole thing came through watching Aliens, and when they're flying out and the planet's about to blow up, it's pretty much the same idea going on. It was like, let's make an Aliens ending, and like the one note.
With like the
gong,
snare?
gong, yeah. Gong, 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 gong. So it's pretty much just our tribute to Aliens, which is one of the best movies of all time.
That was also the only time I think I can think of one other time where we notated music because we don't write anything down, but we wrote all those rhythms out.
Played that last riff for
On
like
a dry erase
4
board.
days straight.
The other that I remember where we wrote something down was the song Flipped. Because, Flipped is whatever it is, I can't remember, but the riff switches on being on like, I don't even remember. If I think about it, I screw it up. But the riff switches on being anticipated, which means it starts before beat one.
It's like it's flipped.
And then sometimes it's on beat one. Yeah, it's like it's flipped.
No arguments, guys. It's cool.
Or buds.
So is there a song in the catalog that should be easy that sometimes trips you up for whatever reason?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Eli's like, no.
Depends on the day.
I can't think of one right now.
He's fine. What?
I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I think my brain isn't
kills
working
it.
all the way.
Bubble Brain, I think Rob has that solo part that I know that he's always
I
worried
messed it
about.
up last night really bad.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
notice.
you did.
I
just
didn't
kidding.
care.
I didn't notice.
What are you going to do?
Jazz, man. I should tell you, I know that these guys mentioned the auction, by the way, the charity auction was closed. I just reopened it telepathically. So you have another 15 minutes or so to bid on
15
some
minutes.
items. There's a dope bass back there. There's amazing artwork. There's a lot of great stuff. It all goes to a great cause. So this is actually the last round. You know what? 5 minutes after this wrap, you can go and place your bids. After maybe, if I can convince them to play one more song. 5 minutes after that point is when the
I'd
auction
even play
will close.
2 if you want.
2 songs. One of them's gonna be Root Down.
Chuck's like, God damn it.
Oh, we're gonna play Root Down again? Yes.
Oh, let's do
We're
Root Down.
gonna close this early and get back into Root Down in a minute, but
For me to sing Rammstein? No.
new single from Rammstein.
I did that once.
Thing's like 9 minutes
it?
long.
I know.
Do you remember
can't
one time we
do it.
played that song and our old manager, Jason Gibbs, sang that song on Halloween dressed as a pregnant nun.
How'd that go over?
He didn't do well.
No, he did. The
Oh,
first.
that was when he tried to
The
sing
performance.
America Fuck Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Oh, no,
bad.
Do House was
How
good.
hard is
Yeah.
that?
It's actually, there's a lot of words, but like,
Taco Bell, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Probably hard.
I think he was nervous.
Oh, fucker.
Folks.
While we're on the subject here, well, you know what? Let's change this subject. You guys dropped a pumpkin song last night. How hard was it to pick which pumpkin song and who gets to sing it and how much work went into it? And it's okay if not that much. Like, we get it.
It wasn't that hard.
I mean, I would say
Like
that
10
everybody has that song so deep in their brains. It's
Right.
like, we had to learn the very specific forms, but I mean, that's
I hadn't really heard it before. And Chuck was like, we're going to play,
something
what is it called again?
I have no
Bullet
idea.
with butterfly wings?
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, we're going to play that. And I was like, I don't know that song. He's like, you know it. And I was like, is it the, like, wanna go for a ride? And he was like, no. And he was like, it's the world is a vampire. And I was like, I mean, I know that lyric, but the rest of the song afterwards, I have no idea how it goes.
That's the whole song. That's the only lyric.
Yeah.
You guys didn't talk about who would sing it. It was always going to be Eli.
I just, when we thought about it, I was like, this is an Eli song. That's just clearly.
Yeah.
He did a great job, too, right? Let him hear it. Come on. Out of his comfort zone. No keys. Picking up the mic. Getting into it. Super fun.
It's all about the
right?
scream. You just got to own the scream.
And there was no conversation about Tonight with anything dropping down and the moon and anything like any. That didn't
We should
happen.
have done that.
No,
You're
maybe
right.
next
That
time.
would've
Maybe
been cool,
next time.
You know.
that needs like strings and orchestra.
It's true.
But I feel like Super Bowl is kind of up that vibe.
True.
Mildly.
You know what's really cool too, though, is that aside that it's really cool. Like Luke has that Pumpkins thing now, doing lights for Smashing Pumpkins. Luke is a huge Smashing Pumpkins fan. On top of that, like he used to listen to their albums like in the van and know like every lyric. So that's cool. I don't know why
really cool.
I'm getting
Good
on
job.
that tangent.
I
It's a
have
good
Cool.
catalog. It's a good catalog.
I have a
Does
little
not
story
suck.
It's a great chat.
about that. So I went when Luke was in Denver with Smashing Pumpkins. I went with my wife to go see it, and we're sitting at front of house. And there's wine there. We're like at a Smashing Pumpkins concert. Luke's doing lights, and he has this button. It's like this yellow Pelican box with a huge red button on top that's flashing, and it's just sitting next to him the whole time. I'm like, Luke, what does this do? And he controls all the walls that open, and like Billy Corgan comes out and then closes them. And if he presses that, everything stops to like make sure he doesn't kill him. But it was sitting next to him, and it's like, you know, this iconic cartoon, do not press this button. I was just like, it was like I wanted to do it so bad.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, he put it away.
He put it in the glass case.
Don't touch that.
Luke, I'm so sorry you lost the Smashing Pumpkins gig.
Like if you come back.
But you're welcome back to Dopapod.
It was a good run. It was a good run, honestly. It was fun. Who knows what they're gonna do next? I mean, they're like they break up every 5 minutes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We got a question from the audience here.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Just a quick question. If I were to look inside your Trapper Keeper, what exactly would I find?
Like our actual trapper keepers from elementary school.
I think it's a metaphor.
Or the one you have now, backstage.
Bunch of bad band names written down.
Totally.
You'd probably find a new game.
I had those games that were like you clip into a binder, into a 3-ring binder, and then you play with like pennies. It was like football and hockey. You remember those?
Yep.
That was in my 3-ring business.
It's very educational.
I found it's
Sick
not exactly
games.
a trapper keeper, but I found an old notebook of mine from high school when I was at my parents' house. And first of all, there was barely anything written in it because I didn't do anything. But what was written in it was like, it was for English, and I was supposed to write like an essay on the first couple chapters of The Great Gatsby, which I probably didn't even read.
It's a good book, man.
I bet it is. Now I would go for it. But so I wrote down something, I don't know what it meant, you know. And then on the back, I just literally printed out the lyrics to Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles and then glued them to the page. And I was like, and I just said, The Great Gatsby reminds me of this song. And I got it like a 23 out of 100 grade on it.
Then he was like,
And then the next 4 pages were like like me making fantasy fish set lists and stuff. So I was like 16.
Well, you guys brought up Trapper Keeper. I mean, it must have felt fresh to play those songs after a minute, right, Eli?
For sure. Yeah, it's fun. Good song.
Were you surprised?
Chuck
at how-
hates it.
Chuck
Chuck
hates
doesn't
it.
like Trapper Keeper.
I'm the one. We
tough
put it on
crowd.
hiatus because of me. I admit it. I stopped it.
Chuck
cares
is
what
always
you-
like,
We played it all the time, and like you can't do it all the time. You just stop it for a little bit, you know. So now we're not. Yeah, you agree. We don't have to play it again. Nice.
It's almost like a microcosm for the entire band, you know?
Yeah.
But what about the
We're a fractal.
improvisations last night? I mean, everything felt fresh. It felt like you guys were locked in, at least to my ears.
That was my favorite part last night,
So,
Yeah.
so go on.
especially in the first set. My description of it to myself was raw yet passionate. We were really stoked to be up there, and we could all feel it. And I felt like we went to some cool places that we wouldn't have taken it a year and a half ago. I loved it.
Yeah.
We took you. Cool.
That's right.
Cool. Thanks. All right. Or you're welcome. Whichever.
Both. Rob, you and Eli are lucky dudes. I mean, this rhythm section provides quite the foundation for you.
Sure do.
In a special way. I mean, there's no flash. Not that he couldn't flex or fro. Like, they could flex, but they're here to bring and elevate everything as one upwards, as opposed to just throwing notes at the board.
Sometimes I kind of feel like, this is so corny, but I feel like all 4 of us, but in a melodic and harmonic sense, or a notes sense, if you will. I feel like me and this guy are like soulmates. It's like the first time we ever improvised together, it was pretty much all there as far as I was concerned. But it took a while for us to be fearless enough to do it in front of people. And then I feel like Chuck and Neal are the same way in a rhythmic sense. So it's almost like 2 people who are sort of like, or 4 people, but divided by two, who are musical soulmates, and then you put us all in a room together, and I feel like Chuck is sort of the bridge between harmony and rhythm, that's like almost the ambassador between the two. And then when you put all the four of us together, that's just pretty cool to me,
2 + 2 = 5 or 6.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true. Chuck, how do you make it look so easy?
I just don't play it very much.
Dude, it's fucking amazing.
That's
Can
the
you
ultimate
imagine?
treat for my favorite bass players.
I have a quick story that he reminded me of because they're talking about them being soulmates, and I feel that way with Neal too.
I regret saying that.
So our other band, Mom and Dad, thanks.
We played here once.
So I've actually been playing music with that guitar player longer than anyone else. We've been we were 15, and we had this band at Berkeley called Blumpkin.
We should talk about that band name at some point. Maybe
And
not today.
We were playing in the basement of this house party, it was packed, and we're getting into it. And in the middle of the set, Ben's girlfriend comes up to him. She's like, "I want to have sex right now." And he's just like, "Okay." Stops the set and puts the guitar down. I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Does anybody out there want to jam?" And I see this hand go up, and it's Neal. I'm like, "Yeah, come on." So we jammed at this party for an hour and a half. It was just me and him. That was our first time together.
Our first conversation was drums and bass.
That's fucking
True.
awesome.
That's great.
They said, give it up for these two right here, guys. Come on, they're solid as fuck. Right? We got another question from the audience here.
Hi, how's it going, guys? I'm from Baltimore, and I got
Home of Frank
question.
Zappa.
What's the significance of Shrek? I want to know the meaning.
Oh, that's a beautiful question. Who wants to take this one? I feel like we could all handle it.
You got it.
Okay, for us it goes back to as many things in Dopapod do. Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Just maybe actually for sure the biggest non-musical influence of Dopapod.
Yeah, we write stuff because we want it to sound like that, if that makes sense.
No.
Yeah, that is Tim and Eric. No.
Would it be funny if I was like, oh, hold on, I'll pull up the video and show you guys from here, like that thing you never want people to do, and then they can't find it, and you're like, thank God. And they're like, oh wait, never mind, I did, and you're like, fuck.
You gotta walk away.
So, Tim and Eric did this whole thing where they just dedicated months and months of their time on their show, and money, I'm sure too, promoting Shrek 3. Like as if Shrek 3 needed their help. So they started I think a phone hotline when PBS needs fund raising, and they were like, everybody, you're gonna want to go out to see Shrek 3. We made a new website for Tim and Eric. It's so cool. It's all done up with Shrek 3 stuff. And what else do they do? I remember that they're like, please go see Shrek 3. You're not gonna want to miss it. Good luck to Eddie Murphy. It's a big night for him. and it just went on for months. And then it was the last. You're from Baltimore. The first time we ever just did the Shrek thing was at Baltimore at Soundstage. It was the last show of tour. We were just exhausted. We just didn't give a fuck. So we just kept talking about Shrek the entire show because we were just obsessed with that the whole time, and it's just never gone away since. It's haunted us for better or worse.
It's a feel-good story.
Wonderful story.
It's a parable. Honestly, there's a lot of layers to it.
That's
if you
beautiful.
unpack it, you know what I mean?
Oh.
So Max Cummings wants to know if each of you were introducing Dopapod to a new friend, do you have a go-to song to start with? It's a good question. Eli?
Root Down.
Perfect.
Probably volume 386. I just feel like it has a little bit of everything. I just like that one, and I stole it from Yes, 100%.
Thanks, Yes.
Not afraid
Just
to
that
say it.
one part.
It's just influence. Very yes.
That's the wrong song.
We could
but yeah.
end 386 like that if we want.
Say again?
We could end 386 like that if we want.
If you want to.
I think it's badass.
Yeah. That organ sounds so good.
Do you guys have other songs you would show other people?
I get really uncomfortable showing people my music
me
because
too.
you watch them to see if they're enjoying it. They're
And they inevitably don't like it as much.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I got a thing going on. Like,
Take out your phone.
Yeah, I don't show anyone any music I work on.
That is the real answer to that question. Like, I'm not trying to show anybody.
One time I was home in Rochester where I grew up, and I was with my parents, and we were visiting these like really old family friends, like my dad's best friend in the world and his family, and they had a laptop. My dad was like, "Show them the band," and I was like, "I really don't want to," and he's like, "Come on, show them the band." And I was like, "Dad," and he's like, and I was like, okay. So I spent the next 45 minutes trying to find something that people in their 50s who don't do drugs would like. And I settled on Nuggie Jawson for some reason. I don't know why.
It's kind of.
And I showed it to them, and I'll never forget the look on their faces. They're like, wow, yeah.
Nice, very nice. That's good.
Are things,
Okay.
So
nice.
that's what you're gonna do now, huh?
Thanks, Dad.
They weren't really like that. They're actually the coolest people ever. They've come to shows too. How about it for my mom and dad and my sister? And my niece is here too.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to do it without all of them, all of our parents and everything.
And it shouldn't be lost on them either. Like for you guys to be playing, this hallowed room to a crowd of frenzied people who are just hanging on every note is not something that happens every day. It doesn't happen every week. It doesn't happen to very many bands. So that really is a testament to your guys' talent. True. Mom and Dad.
I just, hence, the little breather we all took was that before that breather, we would play a big show like that and we were just like, oh, whatever, I'm tired.
It wasn't quite at that point.
Wasn't quite at that point?
No.
Some nights it was like, where you're just so tired and you're playing some like epic show and you're just like, I can't wait till I can go to bed. Oh my gosh.
There was a vibe
It
of that,
happens.
yeah.
This brings up a good point. What's the silliest thing you've thought about in the middle of a heated jam? Admit it now without thinking whether or not you should say it. Let's start with you.
Well, Neal and I have this talkback, and it's a microphone that just goes just to his ears. So I just find people that should be talked about. And I'm just like, Neal, check out this guy. Just like,
It really enhances my
dancing
show.
in a room,
I'm telling you.
with this person.
Chuck has a better view, so it enhances my show.
It helps them play better.
I'll just talk to Neal. We'll talk about dinner or something, and just how was your food? It's like, it was
Sushi?
great.
No.
Yeah.
Never think that we're not watching. Because I'll use that sometimes. Chuck will point somebody out, and then I'll be like, I'm going to play like that person dancing.
But it's true, though. We laugh, but I mean, the connection between your fans and this band is a special thing.
Yeah, it's
And
all. You guys are
fuel the fire.
awesome.
Right? Talk about your fans for a minute and the relationship that you have with them. I mean, the fact that people are here for brunch, hanging out, not just here, but last night. Everyone's so excited, hanging on every note. I mean, that's a special thing.
I loved last night that, I think because, didn't they let in the VIP people early so they could get way up front if they wanted?
Yep.
So the cool part about that was that for basically the whole show, anywhere that I could look in the audience, I could see somebody that I knew and be like not just look over them, but make eye contact with them and be like,
Especially the tall ones.
yeah, especially the tall one. Yeah. And that was just great, man. And, I just, to me, I don't care about the people that don't care. They're not my problem. You know what I mean? But you guys are a privilege, so if that makes any sense. So thank you.
And it's well earned. I mean, it's well earned. It doesn't happen all the time. The fact that you guys are making that music that's responding and that people will travel to shows. I mean, you must have had conversations with somebody who's like, yeah, I just got out of the car 8 hours later. What are you guys playing tonight? 7 hours right here, my dude.
I had a.
Are you guys kidding me?
Cleveland, see?
It sounds like that scene in the movie Miracle when all the hockey players stand up and say what city they're from. Frank Ricard, Des Moines, Iowa.
Here, we got another question from the crowd.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. This is for you, Rob. I was wondering if you knew about the Languedoc that you were playing at Telefunken the other day. Do you know, like, if that belonged to Trey or anything?
It was
Yes.
I don't think it did. Yes, it's his. It's mine now. I purchased it.
I heard that it was.
I did. No, it's not.
So
We actually did it just to kind of troll people.
Are you sure though? Because somebody told me that it was, and they didn't want to tell you.
Oh.
I guess
What
we'll
does
never
that
know.
even mean? Because wasn't
Dave
the first
knows.
one built for him anyways?
Well, I don't know specifically, but he basically said that he didn't want to tell you because he didn't think that you would touch it if you knew that it was Trey's.
Wait. So did he build a Hollow Body Languedoc before the one that he built for Trey? Oh, I didn't even know that. Cool. Well, anyways,
Cool.
Basically wondering how you would feel if it was Trey's and, if you knew that it was Trey's. think that's
I
cool
might have
or
felt
what?
a little differently. Just playing it, I mean, because it's still just a guitar, and it had been sitting in a case and hadn't been played for a very long time, so it was kind of, to be honest, a little difficult to play because it needed a setup. It just hadn't been played in a long time, but it was I had gotten to play one a few times before, but never plugged in, and it was cool to hear it plugged in. It was like the perfect amount of fatness and brightness. And it was just, it was really cool.
That guy knows what he's doing, huh?
I played foam on it for a second. It was fun.
I heard Trey blesses every Languedoc, whether he plays it or not. Might be just be a rumor.
Holy
I don't
water
know.
around.
So now that you guys live in different places, what's it like writing songs? I mean, you guys sending files? What's the demo process like?
Exactly that, yeah.
Word?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we'll send stuff around, and then, like, when we get together as a group, then we'll all kind of learn the parts, and then we'll add our own little flares to it, and over time it evolves, and then we play it, and then it changes more, and it's like a living organism that we all learn the, I don't know, kind of.
It's like little demos
biology
and then you
of
flesh
the
it out.
animal.
And talk a little bit about this new record and what that process was like as far as, the demo process versus the tracking process, all you guys in a room crafting arrangements and whatnot.
Well, this album is a mixture of new stuff that we just wrote after the break and a mixture of songs that we had that were like left over from the last album. So it's kind of a, almost like a Frankenstein album. But yeah, I don't know. The process, I'm really tired.
I'll answer this one. This one was really cool. This one was unique because we had never played like Numbers Need Humans live before.
Yeah.
So we worked that out, in the rehearsals, and then really finally fleshed it out in the studio that we recorded it in. So we got to like make it cool, sound like a cool track, and then work from there.
Yeah,
So
it's slamming.
I think that's like the first time we've ever done that.
If anybody else has questions, now's the time. Shuffle over here. We got one right here from the audience.
Hey Rob, so how's the rock opera coming along?
The rock opera?
Yeah, the rock opera.
What are you talking about?
The rock opera. Like with Super Bowl and all those songs you've been writing.
All right. Well, to be honest, I think it's sort of a thing where we do it for ourselves. Like honestly, the reason I started up because a lot of the times Eli has all the musical ideas and then I'll add some lyrics. At least it used to be like that. Now it's a lot more collaborative. And we wrote one song that was in this sort of theme about like time travel and stuff, which is Tot, or Test of Time. And then it was just that one standalone song, and then I kind of just needed lyrical content and didn't have any. And I was like, what if I just keep going with that? Then that's kind of like you're lengthening the shelf life of lyrical content. And so I think it's sort of like we're not rushing it or anything. We might not ever be anything. I don't know. We just kind of like goof around with it every once in a while at our own leisure. And then someday, when we feel like it's all cohesive, we might put it all together for you guys in some fashion. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we would like a
I'm sorry, that sounds so disappointing.
Everything you just said has to do with time.
So there may be a rock opera at some point.
Maybe.
In the future. I'm glad you brought up traveling through space and time. So here we are. We're heading through the galaxy. Where are we headed exactly? Where do we land?
Where are we going, Eli?
I mean, it doesn't have to be permanent, but I'm just saying, where are we going to land for a minute?
I'm kind of confused by this question.
It's a metaphor
We
about
just went
life.
way meta.
Oh, we're gonna watch Game of Thrones tonight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
That is definitely what is
Everybody's
next.
gonna die.
They're all
obviously.
dying. And also,
Everyone's
if you haven't
gonna
seen it,
die.
you don't want to hear about it, that's your own problem, as Dave said. It's a big show.
Let's just talk about Game of Thrones the rest of the time, huh?
That is a great
I
idea.
think-
That's something
music.
everyone can agree on.
Real quick, because I know you guys want to hear these guys play. Nobody's interested in hearing what I have to say, of course. Like, we're going to get them, doing what they do in a minute. Is there a favorite moment from last night's show at the moment? Sorry to make you think, Eli, my bad.
I have kind of a longer-winded answer to that question.
Please.
So, I mean, there were lots of questions from people like why we took a break, if it was individual reasons, collective reasons, and we each had our individual reasons. And one thing that started happening to me at 2017 is music when I was younger was my release from life. I would go home, I'd play music, and at some point that started becoming the thing that I needed a release from. It became work. And I was like, this is wrong, this is bad, I'm not enjoying this. So that was a big red flag for me, and that was one of the main things that I needed last year was I need to find the love for this again, I need to find some passion. And last night on stage with these guys and all you guys out there, I was like, I love this. It was nice to find that again.
You weren't the only one, either. You're not alone in that.
Are we all taking a pass at this?
Yeah, go for it.
Only if you want to.
My personal favorite was that we finally played the hidden track off of Never Otter Even. I thought that was really cool. I've always wanted to play that. And actually, a cool story about that song is that whole recording is every instrument and everything that happens on that is all just Eli. He did the whole thing himself.
Also, Jocko added a lot of the little sounds going on.
But you showed it to me upstairs in the recording studio, and we had an acoustic guitar, and I was like, man, that's so beautiful. And Luke was like, I don't think this should be on the record. and we were like, shut up, Luke.
Wop, 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 wop.
Jeff Emmerich didn't think that Within You Without You should be on Sgt. Pepper, so what do you know? And
Then he
oh
cried.
God, I just compared us to the beat. That's terrible.
It's fine.
Compared Luke to Jeff
Cardinal
Emmerich.
no of music. But anyways, I always thought that was such a beautiful song, and it was seriously 100% all of that is just Eli writing cool stuff, and that's one of my favorite moments of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Another quick question. I know they're all waiting to hear you guys play. Favorite song off the new album, Without Thinking? Go. Even though we haven't heard it. Just let it fly. Just name one.
I really like Chuck's song.
Boom.
It's gonna be track number 3.
Trace.
You haven't heard it yet.
It's called 23 Forever. It's one of those demos I put out.
Nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, you can find it on my SoundCloud. But that's just me. We recorded the whole thing.
So yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, Neal, what's your
What,
favorite?
My favorite song in there? I really love Numbers. Oh, favorite from last night? Oh, backtracking questions. I've been thinking about the whole night because it's every once in a while you have one of these nights and performances where you have so much fun that you don't remember most of it. And I don't remember most of it. I was seeing Instagram videos and oh shit, we played Super Bowl? I don't even remember playing that. So the whole night was like that. And I remember a moment in Freight Train at the end, I was seeing the clock on my iPad and I was like, damn, this is almost over. What the fuck? So just the whole thing. That's my answer.
Great. Well, let's keep
But
that
it's
going.
it's because of everybody,
We're all here. You guys want to play a couple more tunes? What do you say,
Let's
right?
do
Give it
it.
up for these guys, huh? Let's hear it for Dopapod, right?
Everybody make some noise for Ari Fink. Make some noise for Ari. Thank you so much, everybody. We had an amazing time. It means so much that you're all here. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Someone just threw a bag of dicks at me. It's like, they're like these little wooden dicks in a bag. This thing, is every color of the rainbow in there, huh?
Hey guys, give it up one more time for Dopapod. So a couple of things for you real quick.